Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Talk Assassin's Creed, your number one podcast for all things Assassin's Creed. Now this one is early. I do kind of admit I should have done this on Saturday, which was the brief overview into all Assassins in the main series. But Ubisoft, being Ubisoft, decided to drop a bombshell yesterday with a 8-hour long Photoshop teaser for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I was going to wait till Saturday, but today we got that jaw-dropping CGI trailer that was immense. You know, I kind of drooled over it. It was a definite pace from Assassin's Creed Odyssey's live-action trailer. That was okay. So in this video, instead of doing it Saturday, I'm doing it today, so I am a couple of days early. I'm going to discuss my thoughts, my feelings, and some theories that we get from the trailer. So first of all, if you go to YouTube now, look for the trailer, there's a really good video. I'm scared of trying to pull up the link in case the video tries to play or my anchor deletes, so I'll try and grab the link quickly for you. Called, where's my history? It's done by there we go. It's done by Ubisoft North America, so look for them, and it's the developer insight for the series. And it's quite a really good video. It talks about some of the features they're doing and stuff like that. And what they're planning for this game is actually immense. So let's go over what we know. So the main character, I cannot pronounce his name at the moment, so I'm really apologise, but I'm going to attempt. I think I should attempt because it's unfair that I just pretend I'm not going to attempt. So let's get all the information up. Sorry, I should have done this first, but yeah. So we play as Evil, a Viking settler that's making his way from Norway to the fresh green grasses of England, which sounds fantastic. Now, one of the changes of Evil, which Ashmel described, and I think it is an amazing way of doing it, can be customized as a man or a woman. Now, I had issues with this at first, thinking, you know, who's canon? Look at the debacle with Odyssey where Alexios isn't, but Cassandra is. But it turns out they both are, in the sense of it's not about who we are playing, because Ashmel describes it as Izor's journey, and that is a good way of saying that actually both are canon, because you're not playing the character, you're playing the journey. So the memory you're playing is essentially just a journey, and you can choose if you want to be a female version of Izor or a male. But I do think, because there is a tie-in book, and you obviously can't see me, so I'm using quotation marks, being released afterwards, this has kind of upset me a little on a personal level, because I really feel disheartened that Odyssey give us a £45 game and they give us a tie-in book which make Cassandra canon for an extra tenner for some people, and that was a bit unfair. Why pay £45 for a game to get a tie-in book to make someone canon? I could be wrong, because there's no actual information on this book. It's just the guy who wrote the book has put on Twitter, I'm writing a tie-in book. There's no he's not put the setting or what it's doing, he's just said it ties in to the events of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So to me this does scream Odyssey, you know, they're tied in with the events of the game that made the game canon, and it was kind of upsetting that they had to do it this way, you know. I don't know, it's a nitpicky thing, because when you look past that, the game is phenomenal, but also has unearthed some very, very, very hypocritical fan base members. And I'm going to be blunt, because the game is a very deep dive RPG. It's immense, and this is what's been described on the YouTube channel. So write your Viking saga. Advanced RPG mechanics allow you to shape the growth of your character and influence the world around you. With every choice you make, from political alliances and combat strategy to dialogue and gear progression, you will carve your own path to glory. That is fantastic, and a lot of fans at the moment, some I've talked to face, are bowing at Ashmel's feet, saying this is brilliant, but at the same time they criticise Odyssey for the same RPG mechanics. So I'm a bit upset to see the fan base, who I've had a lot of loggerheads with over the past year, so disheartening to fans of Odyssey for the RPG mechanics, but are now worshipping Valhalla's RPG mechanics. I think that's a bit upsetting as a fan, but that's something else. So the next one, which I love the most, is the combat system. Dual wield powerful weapons such as axes, swords, and even shields to relieve the ruthless fighting style of the Viking warriors. Brutally decapitate your foes, vanquish varied collection of deadly enemies of ever found in Assassin's Creed games. So from what I heard in the deep dive videos is after 20 hours playing, you're gonna find new enemies, which sounds amazing because Odyssey gets the same repetitive enemy style. So I'm kind of like that. Something else I did notice in one of the deep dive videos from all the info is you get one type of axe, one type of flail, which is like the chain ball thingy that throws like the Morning Star, one type of spear, one type of axe. You know, where Odyssey has like hundreds of different types with different stats. It sounds like you're not going to get that, so you can essentially have one axe in like Origins, where you can have just one sword and just level it up all the way through the game. Which sounds pretty amazing to me, to be honest. I'm kind of excited for that. I probably would end up running around with 2 axes, or if you want to be a numpty, you can run around with 2 shields. That's going to be my numpty build, where I just run around bashing people with shields, because that would be hilarious. I think you can probably maybe dual-handed weapons as well, which would be kind of cool. So the next thing is Dark Age Open World. Sail from the harsh and mysterious shores of Norway to the beautiful but foreboding kingdoms of England and beyond. Immerse yourselves in the Viking way of life through fishing, hunting, drinking games, and more. Now, the reason for this, from what the developers have been saying, is there is a misconception that Vikings are all about pillaging, murder, assault. It's all we hear in TV shows and history. But we rarely see that Vikings were farmers, they were settlers, they were humble people, they just wanted to live. And this is what this game's going to tell. Like, yes, there were some really bad, aggressive Vikings, but this person is a settler. They want to farm, they want to grow, they want to cultivate, they want to be part of England's life. And a lot of them did do that, and it's evident now. And this is what the game's going to tell. So it's kind of a cool, intriguing story. I'm kind of liking it. Then there's lead epic raids, launch massive assaults against Saxon troops and fortresses throughout England, lead your clan in surprise attacks from longship, and pillage enemy territories to bring riches and resources back to your people. Now, a lot of people hear Black Flag or Odyssey, naval combat, but from what I can tell, no naval combat. The longship is just more of a traversal system through the rivers and the oceans to help you pillage. You know, you can like make your own raid party and sail to, I don't know, a location down a river, pillage like mad, and then take the resources back to your settlement. And that will nicely bring on to what's next. Let's see, I've kind of lost it now. Sorry, guys. Grow your own settlement. Construct and upgrade buildings that allow for deep customization, including barracks, blacksmith, tattoo parlor, and more. Recruit new members to your clan and personalize your Viking experience. This, my friends, is amazing. So essentially, we're getting a Far Cry New Dawn settlement type in Assassin's Creed, which reminds me of Assassin's Creed 3's Homestead and the Brotherhood system from Brotherhood. This sounds amazing. So essentially what is happening is all the years of stuff they've done in little bits are coming together to make this one big, cool sounding game, and I'm loving it. I can make my own Viking settlement as an assassin who can do all this assassin-y stuff. I can lead raid parties, I can take me on raid leaders from this settlement to do raids. You know, everything I get from raids I can take home and use it to upgrade. You know, this is fantastic, and what they're doing for Valhalla so far is amazing. I'm loving it. I'm hyped. I do have that niggle about the book tie-in, but come on, I'm gonna get the book anyways. It's just a niggle. The final point, before we dive into a few theory crafting, is Mercenary Vikings. Create and customize a unique Viking raider within your clan and share it online with friends to use during their own raids. So everyone goes on and on about we want to create an assassin, which isn't possible. We live a memory, we can't create our assassin because we're trying to live a memory. But to get around that, they are doing it really cool way where we can design a Viking mercenary, share it online like the create a story mode, and people can download it and use it. And that's kind of the closest thing we're going to get to character customization, and I am happy. I'm going to make like the most badass looking Viking raider and share it around the world with the tag AO Madness so you can find me everywhere. So that's all the little nitty gritty stuff. The male voice has been released, I forgot to mention. He's called Magnus Brun. If I pronounced your name wrong, I truly apologise. Who also stars in The Last Kingdom, which I'm going to start watching now. And yeah, there's a gameplay reveal next week on the Xbox Series X live show. Matthew J. Kirby is the one doing the book that I mentioned. So that's everything you need to know that's happening. Go check out the CGI trailer, you'll love it. And on about the CGI trailer and everything else that I've heard, Mythology isn't taking a back seat in this one. Oh no, they're continuing Layla's story. Because they say in the dev thing that in this day and age, Vikings didn't believe gods is in higher power, but they believe gods walked among them. In the trailer you'll see them doing a favour for Odin before they go into raid. And this kind of leads on to what I kind of noticed, and I could be wrong. I could possibly be wrong, but in the middle of the fight scene during the end, there's a guy standing behind a tree, and then somebody blocks his view, and a raven appears, and Ivar says, "Odin's among us," and to me that sounds like the Isu are actually with him, and that's who he's seeing, an Isu representation of Odin. Or he could just be one of those badass assassin figures, hiding then poof, which sounds dope as hell to me. What else was there? So that's essentially all I need to know. So Isu are going to be playing a heavy part. I'm trying to go for a tweet from a fellow podcaster, Visions of the Past. We've been chatting a lot since this deep dive because he's fantastic, he's a great man. And I'm going to pull up some tweets that we've been discussing because I think it's fair I mention in this. So we've been talking a lot, and I'm not going to pull everything because he's the greatest person I've ever chatted through all this. He's so fun, he's as hyped as me, and I can't wait to see what lore stuff he'll bring in the future, and I'm going to definitely be sitting down to listen to him. He's shown me a few things. I'm trying to have lost them now. This is kind of like one of those impromptu, quick, jumping up. I need to jump on this. So he's quite intrigued with the mercenary system as well. We talked about monetization. There's a lot of horse and armor packs, but what they're going to do in here. So we think it's going to be like tattoo stuff and all that. So what kind of thing? Let's see. That's the beards tattoos can be customized, which is really cool. The novel was announced by the writer of The Last Descendant, so that's very cool. I can't really find what we were talking about now. Sorry, he shared some pictures with me. Where is it at? Sorry, I know this is really disrespectful. I should be chatting, but I've lost the tweets. Right, I can't find the tweets now, but we did talk something about mythology coming back because it's what they discussed. And I think this really means now that I know everybody doesn't like Odyssey for how mythological it was, but with Vikings and how they believed it played in day-to-day life, it now seems like Ubisoft are trying to give more backstory to Isu. They're going to try and incorporate more into Layla's story. I did see an article where they said that Layla is going to be playing an important part. And to see that Layla is actually playing an important part is actually amazing because we don't get a lot of Layla. Well, we did in Origins and a little bit in the Odyssey DLC, but more Layla would be kind of good because I think she does need a bit more flesh on her backstory and a bit more oomph to her tale, because the idea was kind of crazy that we're being ignoring the Isu for so long because it's too fantasy. Found the tweet, guys. Sorry. So I'll quickly read it to you. The mention of having friends along... this is actually a direct quote from Leferi at one point, but I really cannot pronounce the name, so I strongly apologise if it caused any offence for my pronunciation. The mention of having friends along the ride makes me wonder if there's any truth to rumours Valhalla might dabble with the core play, which has not returned after a shaky effort in 2014's Unity. Ubisoft has confirmed that to me this isn't the case, although some kind of interactive seems to be on the cards. Valhalla is a single-player game, a Ubisoft spokesman clarified, with many online components encouraging players to share their progression and creativity. One thing Ubisoft is willing to pin down for long-time fans is continuation of the franchise overall arc for those engaged in that, meaning more backstory in the first civilization and a third outing for present-day character Layla, whose story suddenly got interesting in Odyssey's final expansion. We've found a way to blend the present day into a new type of experience for players, Leferiri concludes, and present day is playable. I can confirm that. And again, that was an article given to me from Assassin's Creed, from Visions of the Past. He shared tons of articles and forward. So Layla's getting a more involved, and this is kind of like cool for me, I think. But it means that a person we saw might not actually be Isu, it could just be an assassin, because we know assassins are in this game. But if we get more backstory to the Isu, then how does that affect the world? We're going to see tales of Odin, maybe a bit more tales of Thor. It doesn't look like they're going into the God of War direction, which thank goodness, because I didn't want so many fans complaining about that side. But overall, what's on the table is the love child of Origins and Odyssey's mechanics fused into New Dawn's mechanics to create this hybrid of Viking assassin-y awesomeness that I am 110% hyped for, and I can't wait to discuss more with you guys. I'm going to be sitting on my hands till it arrives in Holiday 2020 on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PS5, and PC, and Stadia. Really check it out, it's going to be wonderful. Like I said, my only niggle is a personal one. I really hope you don't take it as a criticism, and that's the tie-in novel. I'll still get it, I'll still read it, but I'm not happy with paying full price for a game to get the canon story in a game. That's just something I don't like, and hopefully the fans can get behind each other and actually rally some enthusiasm, because since Odyssey dropped, I've seen a lot of hate and aggression towards Odyssey and Odyssey's fans because of the RPG mechanics. But seeing as Ashmel, and I might pronounce his name, who made Revelations, Black Flag, and Origins, is taking Odyssey's mechanics, I'm hoping people can now see that these mechanics fostered in Assassin's Creed is really nice and really amazing to see. And maybe we can bury the hatchet on the sour taste that Odyssey left in people's mouths and come together as a community that I know Assassins can, and Templars. So that's all we've got time for tonight. Probably longer than usual, I'm sorry about that. There won't be any episode on Saturday because I'm doing it today, but I am doing a co-hosted special starting next week over 11 Saturdays. I'm going to do all mainline games. Me and this co-host are going to be describing our thoughts, feelings, and personal reviews. So we're not going to talk into like the story, the lore, and all the games, because that is a lot. What we're basically going to do is we're going to be doing what I dub Assassin's Creed Deep Dive. In a build up for Valhalla, we're deep diving into all the old games, and we're going to say what we like, what it did for the franchise, how it helped, and how it grew, and our own personal reviews on it. And by the time we get to Odyssey, we'll be that bit closer to having more information on Valhalla. We'd like to point out that sadly I won't be covering Discovery, Bloodlines, and Liberation, Freedom Cry. I think that's about it. And Chronicles, because they're technical spin-offs. Freedom Cry and Liberations are standalone DLCs. Discovery and Bloodlines were PSP ports, and they were really good, but they were more fillers. So I'm just going to discuss 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, 4, Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, and finally Odyssey. Wait, is that 11? So this is Creed, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 4, well, Black Flag, Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey. No, that's 10. I don't know where I got 11 from, guys. I think my maths is off. I'm sure it's 11. I don't know, my maths is off. It's been a long day. So, thank you all for listening, and I'll catch you all next week with our deep dive Assassin's Creed 1.